David Roush.
Aye.
Michael Billing.
Aye.
Steve Freeland.
Aye.
Steve Heron, not here. Carol Mullet.
Aye.
Kara Weber.
Aye.
Great. Let the record show that David Roush and Tom Castellini have joined the meeting in person. All right, moving on to reports. The financial summary, same as it was last month. We have $75,000 allocated and $25,000 remaining. Are there any questions on that? All right, hearing none, we will move on to old business. 95 East Oak Street, Nicholson Orthodontics. Is there anyone here representing the project that would like to speak?
Paul Kite is online and he's being promoted.
He loves it when he's promoted.
Sorry, trying to get my technical aspect working here. It's Paul Kite with Strongbox Commercial with offices at 65 East Cedar. I think we hopefully are here before you today for our final presentation. We'd also like to address our request for a facade grant as well. Hopefully we can do this in the same meeting. Jeff DeSmit is with us from Axis, and he's going to present the current state of our design and show it to you and hopefully address the changes that were requested in our last meeting.
Hey everybody, do you want me to go ahead and share my screen then?
See this one?
Give him a chance to pass out the presentation. We're ready when you guys are.
All right, we are ready.
Okay. All right, Jeff, if you'd go forward with that, we'll address all the architectural issues, and then we can address the hopefully the facade grant afterwards.
Yep. Let me know when that pops up for everybody, if that's on screen.
Yep.
To go over just a couple of the comments that we had last time. So we went back and took a look at, some of the trim profiles. Also went back and took a look at the lap sliding sizing. So to give an update on that, we've essentially kept a 8-inch lap on just the, I would say the lower level, the main areas of the addition, and then all of the existing structure, the existing house, plus all of the dormer areas on the new construction would have a 4-inch lap siding, all of it smooth. We did get that correct in the memo there. We've also listed actual paint chip samples for your review on the actual color codes, and then also just from a window and door standpoint, it would be a 2-color fiberglass, either window or door. One of the things that we have done based on some of the responses from Plan Commission and this group is we did remove all of the divided lights. So they're all just a standard double hung or single window, depending on the sizing. And then all of the doors are either just a single full light door or a door with a double side light, which are the 2 doors that are on the both on the east elevation and the south elevation as part of the addition. One of the other additions that you'll see on here that is new from the last time we were before you is there is a small section of fence for screening of the trash and recycling enclosures. That was also a request by the Plan Commission. So that has been added in as well. Click through here, go to the next sheet. You can see here. So the existing sign that is on the north elevation now is going to be left in place. And there will essentially be an identical sign, not mounted on the building, but in the landscaping by the parking area on this east, on this east elevation, that will essentially mimic the existing. So right now we are not requesting any signage to actually be on the building itself. That was another question that came up during the Plan Commission notes. And we'd be happy to address any other questions or concerns that ZARC has.
Carol Mullet here. I like the look of the surround for the trash containers. I guess my question would be, is there a dumpster there, or are they individual cans in terms
We're
of
just
size?
using we're using individual cans, which is the current what's currently employed.
So that's, yes, I just thought if it was a dumpster, that looked a little low, but if it's individual.
Yeah, it's really just it's really more of a screening wall.
Right.
So the cans will be on the alley.
Can you provide any comment or selection on the shingle color?
We don't have an exact shingle like a manufacturer picked out now, but it would be a medium gray shingle, and we would be more than happy to actually submit the actual color chips with actual window and door hardware specs for review. For Plan Commission, we did submit a wall sconce light as part of that package that got reviewed, and I can pull that up.
You're breaking up, by the way.
Do you have the light sheet cut attached?
Sorry, you're breaking up and we can't hear you. We can't understand you. See, it's like Tom Brady making sure Brump is coming back. Mom, where are my pants?
Commercials.
That's a good one, Tom.
Mom, where are my pads?
And
Is it any better?
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this was the outdoor wall sconce. You can see the size there that we selected. It's the large. There's 4 different sizes, and that is located. Let me go back to this. Can't see with this in the way. So there's a couple places that would be included. There would essentially be one on each side of the doors here at these main doors, and then one here. So essentially one to the left side of each of the doors on the east elevation, and the right side of the door on the south elevation.
Lost you again.
I think hopefully you can see the color selections there as well, on the top right.
Still having trouble hearing me?
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, yeah, so once you guys select shingles, we'd like to see that before you order them, because that can make a big difference.
Sure. We'll try to get those to you here out in the next few days.
All right, are there any other comments from ZARC members?
I'd say overall, I think that the color selection is really nice. I appreciate the white hue in particular and the urbane bronze. And I think that the finessing of the siding has been pretty successful. I do think that we may want to include on this, though, indicate smooth finish on these drawings, just for clarity.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard, but the meeting minutes said do not put smooth, but I misunderstood in my writing those, so it should be smooth shingles, or excuse me, siding.
Yep. And that's what we have.
Good.
Is there any lighting on the south side of the structure?
Yeah, so on the south side, we have one lighting sconce, which would be on to the east side of this door. And again, the south elevation is on the alley side.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this is Dave. Is there a reason why the west windows, excuse me, are vinyl and not fiberglass?
That's just a leftover. We'll get that updated.
So they're fiberglass?
Yeah, yeah. All of the windows are identical. That's just a note that I think because the rest of them were double hung and these ones were specifically fixed, that note didn't get updated. That's just a type. We can get revised and back over to you for record.
I'd say one other question is presumably at every corner, there is going to be a trim piece painted the urbane bronze. Some elevations show it, some don't. Is that correct?
Right now, we're showing on the all of the corners will have no trim. We're going to do the metal corner covers and have them all painted to match the siding.
Okay.
How many parking spaces are being added to the east side of this building?
6 spaces, with one of them being full handicap space.
Okay.
And then we have a off-site parking agreement in place to go behind the building down by the tennis courts.
I have no questions. I think it looks great. Love the color combination.
Agree with Tom.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, I'll just say I think you guys did a great job listening to our ideas, and we very much appreciate that and appreciate your time. And I think this final product, looks great, and is kind of the reason why we have this committee. And so we appreciate you guys working with us, and good job getting to this point. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Paul, you stated earlier, what would you like to achieve today?
So we have a application for a facade grant. We had, I think, 38,000 of qualifiable expenses. So we were looking for a $25,000 grant, which is the maximum available.
All right.
So we have it here at $25,824.
That was the request, the original request, and it sounds like it's gone up to 38. However, 25 is the maximum stated and what we've been discussing. And so there sounds like you're requesting the 25,000.
Correct.
Just for my recollection, is the bylaws we're working from, is it 25,000 or no more than a certain percentage of the total project?
Right, yeah, so it's 40% of the qualifying expenses, which it sounds like that total ended up being around 38,000. But in our documents, we list $25,000 as the maximum grant amount. And
Right.
so we're capping it at 25,000. All right, if there's no other questions, then I would look for a motion to approve the application with an amended request amount of $25,000.
I move to approve.
Second. All right, so we've got Tom with the motion and David with a second. Roll call.
Todd Rotman,
Aye.
Tom Castellini,
Aye.
David Roush,
Aye.
Michael Billing,
Aye.
Steve Freeland,
Aye.
Steve Heron, not here, Carol Mullet,
Aye.
Kara Weber,
Aye.
All right, so that motion is approved. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you guys as we wrap this up, and really appreciate your help.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Nice
Take
job.
care.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
All right, next item on old business is 135 South Main Street, the Tipsy Mermaid, and some design changes. And David Roush, recuse yourself. Is that correct?
So recused. Yes, I would like to recuse myself, so I may speak on behalf of our client.
All right, so David Roush is here to speak about this project.
And Darren Lanik from my office may or may not be on. I can't tell. I'm in a new position here, but just as a general update, what's in front of you first of all, thank you for the committee on behalf of Greg Merrill, the owner of the building, and Sherry Jenkins, the restaurateur, for the approval and support of the project. We're still excited about it, and some time has passed. We have faced a few, I guess I would say, logistical and budget challenges along the way since the approval, which I believe was in May, and have gone through some kitchen, largely back of the house and kitchen refinements that will help tighten up the project some. And what I'm here to do today is basically give the committee an update to that. I will let you be the judge, but I think largely the changes are don't materially affect the facade grant. The approach to the project is substantially the same. And the elements are substantially the same. We just have tightened up particularly the east side or the back of the building some. So Unfortunately, I don't have in front of you the approved drawings, so I'll just kind of try to describe it with what you do have in front of you. And I guess maybe the best drawing to look at that from would be C100, the site plan, which would be your second full-size drawing. In substantially, for the record, the piece that was approved included about another 12 feet of addition to the east side. So looking at drawing C100, if you see the grease trap, which is pochade with the hatch mark, the addition in the approved documents extended that far. As a function of tightening up the kitchen and some design changes, we have pulled that addition away from the building or out of the project. And what's left back there is substantially the existing east wall. So there's no addition to the east. At the same time, we, on the south side where the note says bar dining addition, that shed or wraparound porch, as we've called it, previously terminated at the roof line of the high roof, which would be, I don't know, 12 or so feet west of where this drawing shows it. Again, to clean up the architecture and provide a little more space, what we've done is just extended that addition along. So that's basically the fun. I'll go through some specifics, but that's basically the fundamentals of the change. We have removed the 12-foot new construction, which of course is the facade committee was not involved in that, to the east. And then we have extended the new construction along the south side, a similar dimension to the east. So effectively our design changes involve new construction principally and not the facade work, which was previously part of the grant. We're still waiting on final pricing from the contractor, but we have updated the estimate, which I believe is slightly lower than what the committee has previously approved. And that's just a function of the transition areas and a couple things falling away from that. So obviously from the standpoint of protocol and approvals, we wanted to make sure the committee was, fully abreast of this modification of the scope. And rather than try to speculate what your clarifying questions might be, I thought I'd just give you a high level overview and then put it back to the committee for questions or comments. Again, everything else that you have seen, relative to, excuse me, facade treatments, elements and so forth remains the same as approved back in May. So questions or comments?
You're just letting us know of additional new construction that obviously has nothing to do with what we've approved through the grant.
Yeah, that's correct. It's basically a reduction of new construction in one place and an addition of new construction in the other place in the south side.
And so I would say I appreciate the courtesy of bringing it to us and let us know. But if it hasn't changed anything of the facade that we have thus approved, I appreciate the additional information.
Sure. Yeah. Mr. Kilmer has reminded me I should probably make a point to one, just a functional piece. Yeah, and to answer your question, that is correct. From a tectonic standpoint, from an architectural standpoint, there is no material change there. Operationally, I should make a point just so you're all aware. If you go to sheet A200, which would be the floor plans, that's the fourth full-size sheet in, you'll see our revised floor plan which again shows a lessening of the east side. That wall to the east now is the existing wall, not a new addition. And then at the bottom edge of the plan, everything you see there is new construction. Functionally, we have made what we think is actually a very successful change, modification, and it relates to the flow of the building and the approachability of the building. And that the existing entry doors, which are the pair of doors in the center of the existing facade, are located there on the plan just next to the note porch 100. Those doors in the porch and everything continue to remain remain as they have been intended to remain, and there's outdoor seating on the porch. But what we have done is we have, from an internal flow standpoint, actually changed what would become the main entrance to the building to the southwest corner in the new addition. That addition is again the same as it was conceived previously, just functionally, instead of it being all seating, we're bringing the entry to that point. And that's being done for several reasons. One of which is it frees up access from the dining room and the porch to be more part of the dining room function and not have guest traffic mingling through the center of the space. And then secondly, it ties the approach to the restaurant for a guest to not only the bar and the dining room, but also the south patio, which is an important feature of the design. So with that, we had previously been looking at extending the stoop on the front porch and modifying the wrought iron fence along Main Street. We will no longer need to do that. We'll actually now basically just do a sloped landscape walkway up in the planting area from the sidewalk to this new southwest corner entry, and then you'll enter the building at that point. So functionally, and then again, as you can probably see in the plan, if you recall, the bar, the dining room, everything in the front of the house, substantially the same as what you saw 3 or 4 months ago. The kitchen slightly reconfigured, and then again the east 17 feet 1 3/4 inch piece of that construction is actually have been extended as part of this change.
So one question that I would have, can you give us any kind of update on time frame, how that has been affected by this, or is that affected?
Yeah, this has been, we are waiting for final pricing as we speak. We actually had hoped to have it yesterday, and we do not have it yet. Those of you in the construction industry probably are aware of the challenges that are out there right now. That's not to make excuses. The goal was to be underway in October, and the goal would be to be soft opening, hopefully by the end of January or February of 22.
So David, on the west elevation drawing, the area to the far right, which looks perhaps as though it's existing at the moment, is in fact the new addition, right?
The far right is the new addition, that's correct.
Okay, and can you comment on the window types? I see them there on the new addition and also on the south elevation. There's a couple different window types that are shown.
So the windows with the horizontal muntins are actually operable overhead doors, glass doors that will open up fully. Hang on a second, let me look real quick, make sure I tell you. And Darren, if you're on, you can comment. He is not. He's
You
not
see
on.
him?
Okay.
Kara, you were referencing the south elevation?
They, let's see, they at least occur on the east and west. Yes, south elevation. West and south, thank you.
The south windows in the vestibule are aluminum storefront, I believe. Let me verify that. That's correct. And then the windows that are in the five. Yeah, the windows that are in the remaining two south openings as well as the west opening are upward acting sectional windows, so that those windows would open fully. So you're sitting inside, you'll actually be able to rest your arm on the sill and talk to somebody out on the sidewalk. And I believe those selections all remain consistent with the original submittal.
The ramp is new, is that correct? Or is it just the relocation of what is considered the main entrance?
It's just a relocation. The grade out there is about 14 inches difference. And so when we had it on the north side of the property, basically it's a sloped walkway. So it's less than 5%. And we envision that grade change all to, occur, with ground and landscaping. So that it's a walkway in the landscaping and not a ramp per se.
Will it be less than 1 to 24, so it won't qualify as a ramp?
Less than 1 to 20. 5%.
Yeah, so no railing?
No railing.
Okay. I thought it's on on the south elevation, it still shows a railing on the side of it.
So so the south elevation, there would be a railing. You can see on the south edge, there are two risers up. So there's a step up from the south, and there would be a handrail there, which would be required by code.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's our intention to have a railing on the west elevation, and it does not show up on our west elevation.
Okay.
Did you say the wrought iron fence is staying or leaving in the front?
It's staying.
All right.
We are proposing.
In summary, the changes that are different from what we approved is just an update that there's no longer the addition on the back, and that functionally, though we'd already approved this addition, it will serve now as the main entrance.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that update.
One question on the west elevation showing what is now going to be your main door at the right edge. Is that a glass door, a solid door? I can't quite tell from this drawing what type of door.
It's a full light glass door.
Okay.
And is that glass paneling next to it?
Yes.
I'm sure that the people inside will be happy for that vestibule in the winter,
Yeah.
for that being your main entrance.
Yeah, when we and there are a lot of precedents for corner entrances, particularly with restaurants. And when we were going through these refinements or changes, there were a lot of upsides to relocating the entrance, including the simplicity of the porch. And that porch will become a very important functional part of the dining experience, and now not having guest traffic through that in a vestibule encroaching on what's already a very small interior space. We think this is a very positive move for the project. And operationally, the south patio on idyllic days like today will be a very important part of the functionality. And this just brings all of that together. So.
So I think from like a logistical standpoint, I think you guys still have some submittals to make to us for, there's artwork on the west elevation, the weather vane, the shutters, the exterior light fixtures, and then final colors and shingles.
Yeah, I'll run the traps on that. I think that many of those items were included in the original submittal, but maybe not formalized on the documents. The shingles will match the existing, but we'll pull all that together probably, and try to, if we can, have it by next meeting.
Okay. And then item 8.5 says aluminum bifolding window. But you said they were overhead, so maybe just a change in that text.
Oh, yeah, I'll clarify that.
All right, are there any other comments from ZARC members or the public on this?
I have no questions.
Okay. All right, hearing none. Move on to the next agenda item.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And Carol, to answer your question, you are not the only person that's ready to see this go forward. So we're encouraged, and I think we're getting close here.
Dave, I didn't see any space for the valet parking person. Maybe the next rendition.
Well, see, with the advent of automated vehicles, we won't really need that.
Yeah.
So you'll just exit out, and the car will just go on.
Well, I'm thinking golf carts, actually.
Oh, you're just trying to get my blood to boil. Thanks a lot,
That's
Steve.
a topic beyond beyond the scope of this committee. So
Don't get me started.
Unless there are any other questions, I'll rejoin the meeting.
All right. Let the record show David Roush has rejoined the meeting. Moving on, old business item, discussion of measures required to continue electronic meetings. As part of our documents today, we've got a draft of this resolution. It looks like it has been updated to be a document representing this group. If anybody from the town would like to present the changes and introduce this.
Thank you, Todd. I'll do that. As was introduced at the last meeting, measures are needing to be taken by all boards to continue the option of meeting via electronically. We're currently able to do that as we're still under emergency orders from the governor. But at some point, hopefully, those will be relieved. And should you want to continue to be able to meet electronically, this resolution or a resolution will need to be adopted to accommodate that. What is presented before you is the same text, which has been presented to the Plan Commission and the BZA for their considerations. The only difference being the name of the body. These do represent the minimum requirements that state law is allowing. So you could always go to a more stricter level of requirements should you want to. But what is presented before you is the minimum requirements. With that, I'll be glad to answer any other questions.
I have no questions. It seems it's pretty simple and straightforward.
I had a question on section 3A, where it says
Mhm.
at least the majority of committee members must be physically present. We currently have 8 members. And then the second line says, not more than 50%. So should that first part be 50%? At least 50% of the committee members must be physically present, or does it have to be a majority, which would mean 5 of the 8?
I'm taking this language straight from council that presented it to us. So I would say that we can't reduce that number.
Yeah, those two lines just don't seem to go together. One says majority, one says 50%. So if the town could look into what the actual minimum is, whether it's 50% or majority, I'd like to get that cleaned up. And then it says, section 3, item B, the last line is exceptions to this notice requirement may be granted at the president's discretion. We don't have a president, so I'm not sure exactly who should be able to grant that.
We will get that clarified.
I wondered that too. I assumed that for us, it would be the chairman. Just to venture a wild guess. The chairperson.
And then, let's see, in item C, it says if more than 2 members intend to participate electronically, the first 2 members get to participate electronically, but that kind of contradicts with section A, which says not more than 50%. So, is it 2 or is it less than 50%?
Good point. We could have 3 electronically and still have the 50% above,
Right.
or 3 and 4. Yeah. 3 actually looks redundant. Sentence, the first sentence, second sentence.
Yeah.
What other questions?
Let's say I have another question on 3D. Again, clarifying, a member may not attend more than 50% of the meetings in a calendar year. May want to clarify 50% of the posted meetings versus 50% of the meetings that the person attends. If that is the intent. And I guess I would want that same clarity on item E, 2 consecutive meetings. Does that mean 2 consecutive posted meetings or 2 consecutive attended meetings? If a person is not available for a meeting in a series. All that to say, I think if these items get clarified, the overall intent, I'm in favor of.
So at the very bottom of page 3, my name has 2 N's on the end of it. So if we could get that updated. And then it does say president and vice president. I mean, I don't know that we technically have official terms. So, I mean,
Those are official.
I think that's how we did it. for
Those are
you.
official.
No.
so
We
that
could
is
have an
official.
election right now.
Yeah, okay. So then I'll take back my statement about the word president. Then in section 3, apparently we do have a president.
You just now noticed.
Tom's VP, man. He's second in charge.
Congratulations.
It's been that way for,
Yeah,
posted that way for.
I thought it
few
was like
years.
chairman. It like on the website, it's listed as chairman.
Oh, it is?
No, it's all
president.
your responsibility, dude.
Steve's secretary.
We will confirm.
I would
Okay.
like to add one other edit. I noticed that you requiring a 7-day advance notice. I'm assuming that's 7 calendar days, but more relevant. One of the exceptions is illness or other medical conditions, and that isn't always so nicely timed as a 7-day window. So the preclusion of that would be an illness that's declared 7 days in advance. What if you've got an illness 3 days in advance? I'll leave it at- I don't know. I'm just telling you, illness doesn't have the same calendar as the rest of these do.
I think the illness portion is where you don't actually have to do notice. Is that right? Or are you saying it still needs notice?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm asking is if you can hit any of the 4 buttons, then notice is not required.
Yeah, I guess if you're talking about section 3, item D, that's just talking about the quantity of meetings, not the notice.
Right.
Well, and it does say exceptions to the notice requirement may be granted at the president's discretion. So
Yeah,
I guess if the president okays it, you're okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so we need to ask permission.
So, and then I assume, and there's no timeline on that. So, you know, you can ask permission to be sick like the day of the meeting if you want.
Do we need a doctor's note or?
Let's not put that in there.
No.
How have we functioned?
Yep.
How have we functioned to this point? All
right.
of a sudden, the
And then,
simplicity has gotten quite difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, and then at the bottom, it's attested by the secretary. I don't know if we have, I guess we do have a
Steve
secretary.
Herron is secretary. Officially, Steve is, but somehow I've been taking over the role. Unofficially, I am.
All right,
I'm not sure how to document all these, by the way, so
yeah, let the record show that Steve Herron is the current secretary of this group so that we have an official person. Or do we need to vote on that?
no, he's secretary.
Okay,
It's official.
he's not here, so we can make
Exactly.
him whatever we want. Just kidding.
How do you want us to document this?
I've made notes on my version of it, and I'll follow up with council to see what needs to be clarified or revised.
Yeah, I think that's great, and it looks like it should be ready to be voted on next month.
So
Wonderful.
I will look at it a little bit more and pass on if I see anything else. I know it's not official, but I'll tell you.
thank you.
Okay.
If it's passed next month, when is the effective date of it?
Whenever you adopt it, and it will then become effective whenever the emergency orders are lifted by the governor.
Okay.
So basically, we'll just continue business as usual.
Yep. All right.
I've got to jump off the call just a little bit early. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you. All right, any new business?
Hi, Kara.
All right, the next meeting's 8 a.m. on October the 22nd. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
22nd or 26th.
26, October the 26th.
So moved.
We have a motion by David. Do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Todd Rotman,
Aye.
Tom Castellini,
Aye.
David Roush.
Aye.
Michael Billing,
Aye.
Steve Freeland,
Aye.
Carol Mullet,
Hi.
Kara Weber. Just jumped off. So never mind.
Yep. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.
Hi, everybody.